This is TechCrunch.
Intel officially announced an agreement with President Donald Trump's administration on Friday afternoon, following Trump's statement that the government would be taking a 10% stake in the struggling chipmaker. While Intel says the government is making an $8.9 billion investment in Intel common stock, the administration does not appear to be committing new funds. Instead, it's simply making good on what Intel described as grants previously awarded but not yet paid to Intel. Specifically, the $8.9 billion is supposed to come from $5.7 billion awarded but not paid to Intel under the Biden administration's CHIPS Act, as well as $3.2 billion also awarded by the Biden administration through the Secure Enclave program. In a post on his social network, Truth Social, Trump wrote, "The United States paid nothing for these shares." Nonetheless, he described this as a great deal for America and also a great deal for Intel. Trump has been critical of the CHIPS Act, calling it a horrible, horrible thing, and calling on House Speaker Mike Johnson to get rid of it. In a regulatory filing in June, Intel said that while it had already received $2.2 billion in CHIPS Act funding, it had subsequently requested an additional $850 million in reimbursement that the government had not yet paid. According to the New York Times, some bankers and lawyers believe the CHIPS Act may not allow the government to convert its grants to equity, opening this deal to potential legal challenges. In addition to his targeting of the CHIPS Act, earlier this month, Trump also accused Intel CEO Lip Bhutan of conflicts of interests and said he should resign immediately. The president was more positive about Tan on Friday, saying on Truth Social that he negotiated this deal with Lip Bhutan, the highly respected chief executive officer of the company. For his part, Tan said in a statement that the company is grateful for the confidence the president and the administration have placed in Intel, and we look forward to working to advance U.S. technology and manufacturing leadership. Intel's announcement also says the government's investment will be passive, with no board seats or other governance and information rights. Meta's former policy chief, Nick Clegg, seems to be walking a tightrope as he promotes his upcoming book, How to Save the Internet. Unlike certain other Meta employee memoirs, How to Save the Internet doesn't sound like a tell-all or a scathing critique. And in an interview with The Guardian, Clegg, who previously led the UK's Liberal Democrats, seems to distance himself from Silicon Valley without quite disavowing his former employer. I really do believe that, despite its imperfections, social media has allowed billions of people to communicate with each other in a way that has never happened before, he said, adding that he wouldn't have worked for Meta if I felt Mark Zuckerberg or Sheryl Sandberg were the monsters other people say they are. Still, he delivered memorable sound bites about the Valley, describing it as a cloyingly conformist culture where everyone wears the same clothes, drives the same cars, listens to the same podcasts, follows the same fads. Clegg also sounded mystified by the industry's growing obsession with masculinity, saying, "I couldn't and still can't understand this deeply unattractive combination of machismo and self-pity." In a new blog post, OpenAI warns against unauthorized opportunities to gain exposure to OpenAI through a variety of means, including special purpose vehicles known as SPVs. "We urge you to be careful if you are contacted by a firm that purports to have access to OpenAI, including through the sale of an SPV interest with exposure to OpenAI equity," the company writes. The blog post acknowledges that not every offer of OpenAI equity is problematic, but says firms may be attempting to circumvent our transfer restrictions. OpenAI says, "If so, the sale will not be recognized and carry no economic value to you." Investors have increasingly used SPVs, which pool money for one-off investments, as a way to buy into hot AI startups, prompting other VCs to criticize them as a vehicle for tourist chumps. Business Insider reports that OpenAI isn't the only major AI company looking to crack down on SPVs, with Anthropic reportedly telling Menlo Ventures it must use its own capital, not an SPV, to invest in an upcoming round. That's it from TechCrunch. For more tech stories like these, go to TechCrunch.com.